recordings of people using hemp as late or as early as 8,000 BC. We've got some pictograms of
That's older than the Bible.
yeah, we're talking about
Really?
long time ago, right? And we're looking at this plant, cannabis. Hemp is a subspecies. It's actually a sister plant of the cannabis plant. It grows to have low THC content, usually about 1% THC. THC is the molecule which we refer to as cannabinoids, which makes you high. So you usually tell people, if you're confused, THC is the high component, right?
Oh,
And
that's good.
CBD cares for your body, really. So you can break it down that way, and you understand which one gets you high and which one does other ones, right? But it's not that simple, but it's a starting point. So we've been using hemp or cannabis in some form for at least 8,000 years. We know been using it in form of teas, making, boiling it down and making salves for it. It's a great analgesic, which means painkiller. So if you've looked at the way that the plant has been used over the millennia, it's been used for anything from menstrual cramps, post-birth pain, bumps, bruises, a number.
Topically?
Topically, right? So you rub it on your body. It's a great anti-inflammatory. And what really happened was in the 1930s, we had the marijuana prohibition and tax act, right? 1937. And that really started to change. It really ruined the hemp industry in the U.S. There were a couple of things. Hemp, besides having this medicinal properties from cannabinoids, THC and CBD, hemp was a major source of textiles, which are the raw material for
That's
clothing, right?
Yeah.
We use it for paper. We can use it for concrete. So it was really
Concrete?
concrete. Yeah, hempcrete. You use hemp for plastics now. We use it, and then in certain applications, you can use hemp for graphene, which is used in computer chips. So it's a plant that has a lot of uses. But back then, it was really used for textiles, some
And it was,
medicinal.
even before then, it was a competition for cotton,
Correct.
and
So
it
you've been doing.
grows freely.
So you've been doing your reading. That's right.
Well,
So
I read Behold the White Horse. I
All
don't
right.
know how scientific that is.
Yeah. So
Behold the Pale Horse. excuse
Behold the
me.
Pale. So before the
Freudian.
cotton gin, before the cotton gin, hemp was our predominant source of textiles, right? Cotton gin was invented, and now you can get 100 slaves to do the work of 1,000. So I can go to this cotton and get this stuff, right? I got this machine that will make it happen a lot quicker than if I have all these manual laborers out here. So fool you with this hemp stuff, I can get this cotton stuff to do it. And that's pretty much started that in terms of its industrial uses and
And
uses
that
for
also expanded the slave
Correct. The cotton
industry
gin was
because
big
now they
then.
needed more cotton to feed the gin.
And
Yeah.
more bodies to
More
feed
body
the
to
cotton.
feed the-
to
to
feed
the
the
cotton.
gin.
right?
to
So
feed the
you
gin.
can you're basically, what would they use? The term now would be scalability.
Wow, wow.
Wow.
And so hemp had to be illegal because it was competing economically with the cotton and
Correct.
the bodies and the gin.
Yeah. So you have the cotton, and
So-
then you
but
also
you got to demonize it before you make it illegal.
You
Yeah,
have to demonize
Yeah.
it.
yeah. So you also had a couple of other players in the space. You had Bayer Aspirin, which had lost its patent exclusivity
Oh.
to aspirin itself. So now you can make generic versions of aspirin. And so hemp was an analgesic that was used a lot. People were using cannabis, and not only hemp, but just like straight up cannabis. Like, hey, tinctures were a big thing. A lot of people use that, and so now you've
So
got.
if I have this hemp tincture, I don't need to go to the pharmacy and buy your bottled aspirin?
I don't need to buy your bottled aspirin. I
gotta
don't need
be
to
a
buy your
financial hit.
your acetaminophen. I don't need to buy this stuff because I already have a connection to this other thing.
And it
Now
grows
you
in my backyard.
Freely.
grow it freely, yeah. They call it weed because
It was
It's
a
a
weed.
it just grows. We actually transported it. So if you follow the migration of
Come
the
on,
plant,
black people.
it hasn't been dispersed throughout the planet along traditional lines of disbursement. So you look at either insects or birds or wind or water, kind of dispersing plants or vegetation. It's actually followed man's migration patterns. So wherever we've gone, we've brought the plant to us. So that implies a certain amount of significance to our sustainability and our existence.
Because we're only taking seeds and plants on our
Well,
journey
yeah.
that we can carry that
Yeah,
are valuable.
Yeah,
Right.
and so you would want to make the argument where either A, we really wanted to get high, like, hey, man, bring the weed with us. Or B, it's like, hey, make sure you don't bring the medicine with us. Like, you know, so I would postulate that early man, our ancestors were saying, bring the medicine with us because we're going on a journey. Like we're going, make sure you have that with us.